The Bright Side with Sarah White.
So I want to introduce you all to Bentley Edwards. I am so excited to have him on the bright side, and I want to tell you a little bit about him. He is a U.S. Army veteran. He came to Easter Seals Redwood after returning to civilian life, facing challenges in finding employment. Despite his difficult circumstances, he never gave up. He secured a great job, became one of his company's top salespeople, earned his master's degree. Then he transitioned out of that job and is now pursuing a PhD in theology. And he serves fellow veterans through his work and continues to build a future rooted in purpose and service. How are you, Bentley?
I'm doing good. Thank you for that awesome intro. I appreciate it.
I mean, you have done some incredible stuff. But I want to go back so that people really know where you've come from, and I want to talk about your story. And so go ahead and just share a little bit about yourself, and let's back up 10, 15 years and tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay. Well, again, I served 6 years in the United States Army. My last duty assignment, I was on active duty, so I got a taste of what it meant to be, doing it full time. This was in Georgia, and during that time, I got an opportunity to meet some amazing people. But life after the military just didn't really fit well. And
so what years were you actually serving? What were those 6 years you were?
2006 through 2012.
Okay.
So the last two, 2010 through 2012 is when I was on active duty.
When you were on active duty, okay. So about 13 years ago, you finished up.
Yes.
Because I have a daughter who was born in 2012. So
don't age
I was
me.
able to do that real quick. Okay, so 13 years ago, that finished. And then, like you just said, sometimes it's really challenging to come out of, especially being on active duty, and then come back into civilian life. So talk to me about that transition and why that was so hard.
One of the things that the military teaches you is just muscle memory, the things that you have to do, such a regimented lifestyle. And there's hurry up and wait. There's just, follow orders, suck it up and drive on. And some of those things don't necessarily translate in the civilian world, right? And everybody is not your drill sergeant, and everybody's not your subordinate. So some of the things that you have been accustomed to dealing with for a period of time, and no, my time was not some 20-year campaign. However, I had gotten certain, mannerisms and certain idealisms. I was just used to it. It was just ingrained in me. And so I struggled trying to find the structure of civilian life versus the structure of military life. And there was a bit of uncertainty there. With the military, we knew we were getting paid the 1st and the 15th, like clockwork. We never had to worry about it unless it was a government shutdown, which I did experience a little bit in 2010. But overall, I was able to depend on pretty consistent norms. And so during civilian life, that's just not the case. And when you're a young soldier and you don't really take advantage of all of the opportunities to set you up for when you transition, what we call ETS, then you don't have a chance to get out ahead of some of those challenges. So I moved back to Ohio in 2012, and I just struggled for many, many years trying to find my footing in civilian life. And so that resulted into me getting into some legal trouble.
Okay.
And it was kind of like the lows of lows, trying to drag myself out of some of those mental and psychological battles with my self-worth after having been, a soldier that was honorable, and served this country to, what some people might consider, low life scum for, the crimes that I committed. And people, how soon they forget, the dedication and the sacrifice that you put in when you fall on hard times. Nonetheless, we took accountability. We paid our debt to society. And following that, we're like, okay, this is an opportunity to redeem our name. So then we started that path of redemption.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about that. I know we don't want to dwell in all of the hard times, but what was that like for you to kind of hit the lowest of lows? And then talk to me about what you were able to do to kind of start drawing yourself out of that?
The lowest of the lows, I would imagine, is just knowing that I wasn't going to come home for a while.
Right.
I spent over 4 years incarcerated.
Okay.
And just going through lengthy trials and just having my name dragged through the mud. And it was one of those things where I had to face myself like, no, this is you. You did this. Uncle Sam's not coming to save you. You know, you're going to have to be accountable for this behavior. You were not slick. You did not get away with it. It was a great opportunity to face myself. And I'm grateful that that happened, because a lot of people, they think that just because they haven't been caught yet, that they won't ever be accountable. And it was great for me to grow up.
Yeah. I mean, how important is that we all face ourselves, right? I mean, and unfortunately, like, it took you having to go to prison, but that was like a moment for you where you were able to say, okay, this isn't how I want to live my life, right?
Yeah.
And so when you got to that moment, or maybe a series of moments, maybe it was over time, right? And you realized, no, when I get out, I want to do things differently. Tell me about that. What kind of helped you to start turning and make that change?
Well, one of the things that happened in 2018, I believe, my grandmother died.
Okay.
And I was in prison at the time.
Oh,
and
wow.
it crushed me, because I thought I couldn't go to the funeral. And, you know, my former pastor died while I was in prison. I couldn't go to the funeral. How many people are going to die, leave your life, or move on from you because of the decisions that you made? And chapters that could have continued and flourished will become closed. Opportunities will become no longer available. Is this the life you want to continue to live? And there is no crime. There is no scam. There is no get back to prove my masculinity that is worth squandering opportunities that I have shaped my whole life around being able to have. And so there are many times, even now, present day, when I think about, you know, lows, because the lows don't stop, or, you know, the scarcity and opportunities don't go away. But what life do you want to live moving forward? Do you want to have a life that is limited or unlimited? And they're impacted by the decisions that you make. So after having a couple people just die, I'm like, you know, I don't want to live my life like this, you know, having to, you know, get someone to answer a phone call and give my condolences. I want to have opportunities to both celebrate and be celebrated, and not have this looming cloud over me that I can't get right. So one, you know, kind of like the story of the prodigal son in the Bible, I came to myself. And I said, you know, I'm worth more than this. The people who are invested in me, I owe them more than this. And so I began to change my mind, which ultimately changed my behavior.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that story, by the way. Because like the father comes running out, which he, you know, fathers in that day, like they wouldn't have run to their son, but he just embraces him and, you know, is bringing him back into the fold. So speaking of that, like, how were you brought back into regular life, civilian life, post Army and then post incarceration? Like how did you, you know, take that moment of saying, hey, this isn't the life I want to live. And how did you change your life?
Well, I talk about the people who are invested in me and how I owe them. Well, there was a judge, and shout out to him, Judge Timothy Teep of the Warren County Veterans Court.
Love that. Hi, Judge Timothy. We'll give you a shout out.
He is just someone who, he said he was going to bet on me, and he did, you know, and he told me, he said, I'm going to give you an opportunity, you know, and there were some people who did not like the fact that he gave me an opportunity, but he stood behind this opportunity. He cared, and he demonstrated that. That has not always been my experience with courts. You know, the courts have had a negative name for many, many years because they don't live behind what they say. And very seldom do you see judges
kind of go out of
their way because they're supposed to be an impartial party. But I really think the reality is, if you want rehabilitation, if you want a redemption story, you got to put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, and he did that.
And he did. And he surrounded me with a different culture of people who knew what I came with, but they also knew what I was capable of. And that outweighed whatever bias that society had about me. And they bet on me. And I hope that they believe that they're winning right now.
You know what? So you actually said this before we started, and I want to quote you. You said, my struggle has not changed, but my community has changed. And I think this is a perfect time to bring that up, because what changed was the people that surrounded you. So you had the judge, and then who else kind of made a difference in your life? at that point?
You have Easter Seals Redwood,
Yeah,
where we
we're sitting
currently
right here.
are. We're sitting right here in the thick of it. Angela Muchmore, I tell you, that is a lady, a jack of all trades. I wouldn't even say a master of none, because by her emails, you would think she's mastered everything.
She mastered them all.
And I just thank God for her. I thank Pam, the CEO, the interactions that I have with the people here. You would have thought that I either worked here or grew up with them, or I am not a blood relative of anyone here. And they treat me like family every time I come in the door. Miss Lillian, shout out to the media team, Alyssa, and all of those people who put together productions to be able to showcase the veterans who are trying to make a better life for themselves. There is also the people who work with the Warren County Veterans Court, the mentors, the people who help out with the jobs. Some of the names escape me right now, but it just felt like heavy artillery. Brandy Fisher, my probation officer, who just did not loom over me. She was almost like my counselor. When I would call, I would tell her I need things. She would get it together.
That's awesome.
Monica, who's over the Warren County Veterans Court, just resourceful in the community, has a reach. When I had a problem, I was not left to figure it out on my own, because my struggles did not change.
Right.
Some of them became harder than they were before I went to prison.
Yeah.
And they made sure that I did not fail. And
but you had a community.
It was a community.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one person.
Right.
And it wasn't one person waiting to say, aha, they haven't changed. It was like they were really invested. Their success hinged on mine. And when someone kind of hitches their wagon to you, you know that they care just as much as you do.
Yeah. And that makes me think of the bright side. It's like you had obvious obstacles, still have obstacles. We all still have obstacles, even after we've gone through like something that maybe we would see as a larger obstacle, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you see those glimpses of hope. And what I'm hearing you say are all these people were your hope, right?
Yes, absolutely. I want to highlight also my spiritual community, Agape Love Ministries. It's 8050 Reading Road. Shout out to Bishop Dr. Cornelius Henderson Sr. He is like a big brother to me. And he told, the congregation, even on my return, we're going to dispel every lie they told on him. Everything they said he would not be, we're going to prove that he is. He gave me an opportunity. I am now an ordained elder. I preach the gospel. It's something that I take very, very serious. That God gave me another opportunity, and I want to show people how they can get that opportunity and run with it. He makes sure that I'm set up for success, where I'm able to serve the community. They have a food pantry every second Saturday of the month. They have Black Kings Move, where they help young men overcome obstacles through critical thinking with chess.
That's awesome.
The women have something that's called Know Your Worth with his wife, Pastor Michelle Henderson, where they're teaching women their worth. So I'm surrounded by people who think positive, move positive, and help others do positive. There is no shortage of opportunities for me. I also am a part of a prayer group where we meet on Zoom, the Prayer Call Outreach Ministries. We're praying all throughout the week with people from all different churches all over the community. And we come together because church is more than just Sunday. The relationship with God is more than just on Sunday, but we're helping people throughout the week. I am surrounded.
You are surrounded. And you know what? One thing that I really love too is that you have chosen to give back to other veterans as well. So you've chosen to still be around here, and you know that that's part of your story and how hard it is to come back to civilian life, as you said, and that you've chosen to give back in that way too. Share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so and the general escapes me right now. There's a general in Columbus. He knows who he is. Shout out to you, sir. His name escapes me right now, but I was invited to a summit in Columbus where they talk about all of the programs for veterans. And I got an opportunity to sit on a panel, and many people were impressed by a graduate of a veterans program being able to come back and speak. And I thought that it wasn't just a good opportunity for me, but for fellow veterans to see, if you complete programs, if you do positive things, if you do what you say, there are rewards that come for you to be able to have opportunities to empower other people who may have a story similar to you to do the same thing. Judge Teep has invited me back to speak at programs. He's invited me to be a part of circles that are empowering veterans now. So they're not just signing a piece of paper and say, hey, you're off for probation. You don't have any more time hanging over your head.
It's like, we still want to surround you with community. We still want to help you into your next step, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And I love, so you came back, or you came to Easter Seals Redwood, they helped you to get a job.
Yes.
You were able to work into like a really great position and work that job for a while.
Yes, yes.
And so I love that that's where it started, because that shows other veterans as well, like, hey, you can come, you can work through the program, like you just said, you can get into these great positions. But then you were able to kind of graduate from your programs, however they say it here, and then stick around and help other people do the same, which is really beautiful. So I love that.
Absolutely. And I think that sticking around shows that it had impact. It's kind of one of those things where, you know, when a conversation is over or a work shift is over, I've heard it said you can usually tell who loves to be there if they kind of linger around when they no longer have to be. And so my involvement with the people who have helped me, it's my way to show that I'm not just here because I have to be here now, but I want to be here and I want to give back.
So tell me about what you're doing now. So you are in school and you are studying to get a PhD. That's really exciting. So tell me about that.
So I'm in school for theology. I'll be getting my PhD June 28th.
Congratulations.
And I plan to, you know, launch out into more of the active public speaking role, where I plan to travel the country and let people know about my redemption experience and also empower them. I don't want it to just be another great speech, but I want to show them both sides, because generally someone's only showing one side or the other. So I want to give them the whole story, and then give them the tools, share my resources, my network, my people, to ensure that they can have the redemption story, not just hear it, but experience it the same way that I did.
So what do you hope that someone who comes to one of your talks would get out of it?
I hope that I can invite not people to just listen, but invite people to invest, network with people who are in the community and who need enrollment. There are jobs out there that are centered around reentry and rehabilitation and mental health. I hope that when you all call me to come and talk, you have people there that are ready to put their money where their mouth is, so that I can show and prove that the redemption actually works.
Oh, I love that. So it's not going to be just a talk. It's, you want to have resources there so that people can move forward in the areas they need to move forward in.
It'll be a requirement to get me. You'll have to have those resources there so that I can
think that's incredible. That's incredible. What would you say to someone who, I want you to think just of your own story, who's kind of been through a similar thing? Maybe it's a veteran who is out in civilian life and they are just struggling right now. What would you say to that person?
One of the biggest fallacies that we have as veterans is that we're alone, because we are taught to deal with things alone and to kind of soldier up. That never really goes away.
It doesn't go very well usually either.
It doesn't. And you know, in the Army, they had something called a battle buddy. And so I want to be a battle buddy to a veteran and just tell you, you're not alone. You don't have to face this alone. There are opportunities out there for you that I just haven't heard of, but I've lived. Partner with me, partner with my network and my community, and let's get to a better place. You don't have to suffer in silence, but you can prosper in victory.
Ooh, you don't have to suffer in silence, but you can prosper in victory. I like that. It's a good quote.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Sarah.
That's a good one. Do you live here in the Cincinnati area?
I do.
How long have you lived here?
All of my life, except for the times that I have been away, you know, for college, or have been away to pursue my military career. But I love it. It's home here. But we there might be a transition coming up here soon. You know, teaser.
All right. I understand that, because I moved from Northeast Ohio, of course. You know, sometimes you have to transition, but I love to end these. I've started kind of doing these little rapid fire questions at the end, and just sharing people's love for their city and you know, kind of maybe allowing people to find some new places to go, right? So if someone's coming from out of town, what would you say that they have to see here in the tri-state?
Oh, well, I'm a sports fan.
Okay.
You're going to have to
Where are they
go to a
going?
Reds game,
Going
and
to a
you're
Reds
definitely going
game.
to have to go to a Bengals game. I hope, Joe Burrow, if you watch this, know that you are my favorite player.
Oh,
If there's
I
a
love it.
chance that Joe watches this, Joe, I'm coming to a game this year to sign your jersey and I want you to sign my jersey. I'm bringing tons of people.
So fun.
Food. I know people talk about Gold Star Chili and
Yes,
Skyline.
look, I was going to go there.
They love that.
Where are we going?
But we're going to Alabama Fish Market downtown. If you all have not
Okay,
been there,
I have not been there.
I have
See, this
grown-
is why I like to do this too.
I've grown up on it. Alabama Fish.
It's
Shout
downtown.
out. It's on Liberty and Race, I believe.
Okay, what's
And,
your favorite thing to get there?
Oh, the whiting or the perch.
Okay.
And they have all of the trimmings on it. They have ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, onions. It sounds crazy, Sarah, but you gotta have it. Your life will be changed.
All right. My husband's a huge fish person, so I think he would
take
especially like it. I'm like kind of in the middle with fish.
Yeah, Alabama Fish. I grew up. Yeah, don't wear anything. Don't wear the dress. Like wear some pants that you don't mind getting greasy. It's good grease. It's good grease.
Good
It'll be your
grease.
treat to yourself.
Is it like soul food type
It's
of
soul
fish?
food.
Okay.
Yes. It'll be eat it on your cheat day, and
All
don't
right.
plan anything after because you're gonna be curled up after it. It's pretty good fish. Plan a day, like go
I
to
like
Eden
it.
Park after and just overlook the city with your husband. You guys
Just hang out
Picnic.
after. Yes. That sounds fun.
Yes.
I like that. You planned a date night.
date night.
Date night. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you like to do for fun? You kind of said with the sports. Is that your entertainment? Is that what you usually do if you're going out and doing something?
I absolutely love. I am into sports, and I am diehard Cincinnati. Whether it's the Bengals, whether it's the Reds, whether it's the Bearcats. Xavier, sometimes. Don't y'all get too tricky on me.
Okay.
I don't know, Xavier, sometimes. But I really like to be outside, especially good weather. I mentioned Eden Park because I
was just going to say, what's your favorite outdoor space? Do you have a favorite park?
It probably would be Eden Park. Kings
Nice.
Island is okay, but I'm a little older, so roller coasters can be a little hard on my body.
Yeah, believe me, I know. I have
Just
passes this year for my kids, and I'm like, we got to see how I do.
Yeah.
See if I make it.
The paddle boats, if you can find them, they're either Coney Island or Winton Woods Park. And that's on the north
that's
side
fun.
of Cincinnati, but I love that. And they have good fishing there. I don't know if you like to fish, but I love
we
it.
go to Winton Woods for the horses.
And you like the horses up there?
Yeah, my middle daughter's really into horses. And so that's cool that they have paddle boats. We'll have to check that out.
They do.
See, all these fun things we can learn about Cincinnati, everybody. You guys probably all know this, but I know there's somebody out there watching that doesn't know these places, right?
Absolutely.
All right, that's so fun. Well, thank you so much for being here with
Thank
me
you for
today.
having
I
me.
appreciate you just talking about your story about the good and the bad. And let's kind of finish on that, the good and the bad, right?
Yeah.
And so how have you been able to have hope, find the bright side in the midst of the good and the bad?
The bright side, again, going back to my earlier quote, the struggles don't change. Your community has to change. You have to get you someone that can kind of help you with all three phases of life, mind, body, and spirit. Somebody that can help keep your mind sharp. Someone that can help keep your body sharp. That can be a nutritional thing or just, your physical health is important.
Sure.
And then also your spirit. I am a believer in the Lord. My First Amendment allows me to be able to say, that I believe my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ keeps me grounded. It allows me to be able to, the Holy Spirit allows me to prosper in ways I can't do by myself. And so by that and through that, I would encourage you, if you don't have a church home or a spiritual community, find that. It goes beyond what you're naturally able to do. And so when you find community, the part of community at the end is unity. You find cohesiveness. You're not in the world by yourself, so you can't exist by yourself. And the good of it is that when you find people,
your people.
When you find your people, you find your path, you find your success.
Yeah. And you also mentioned, and we'll kind of wrap up with this, those people have, they help kind of keep you on the right path. They help straighten you out when maybe you're going a little bit astray, and they just surround you no matter your circumstances. And those are the kind of people that you want to find, right?
Absolutely. You want to find people who can hold you accountable, people who are not intimidated or afraid of you, or not intimidated by you. And once you find that, you find people who agree with the plan you have for your life. They see their path in it, and it doesn't impede their own path. You will find that cohesiveness, it goes well. It accelerates. It takes you from moving, snail pace to rapid speed.
Awesome. Well, Bentley Edwards, everyone, I'm so thrilled to have him on the show. It's just been a joy talking with you today. Go ahead and you can speak right to the camera over here and tell people how they can contact you if you have like social media. I know you're going to be doing some public speaking here. So if you want to hire Bentley to come in and talk at your event, you can do that as well. But go ahead and tell everybody how they can find you.
All right. Well, you can follow me on social media, and that's at Bentley Edwards, not to be confused with the Teen Moms kid. You'll be able to see my picture. And if you want to book me for public speaking engagements, you can email me at drbentleyedwards@gmail.com. Thank you all for your consideration and support, and I look forward to working with you all soon.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you. Give a little shout out to Easter Seals Redwood. Thank you for letting us use your space. And they just do so much work in the community, and specifically talking about the work they do with veterans. We're so thankful for the work that they do. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks everyone for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode.
See you. Thank you for having me.
The Bright Side with Sarah White.